Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Riverside Council. I'm your host Caroline Bithe, and with me today is not really a visitor, sababu tumekuwa naye for a period of time. So Gloria, just introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you. Hello, viewer. Gloria Mugallo here. God's delight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about purity.
Okay.
I about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about teens. We're still on the topic of sexuality, that is.
Okay.
But today we want to talk about teens and sexuality. You know, there's some children who don't get these physical and emotional changes when they're at their teenagehood. Maybe it comes later. That is when they are maybe 16, 17. Now, how should a teen, not really a teen, that is a parent, because maybe the teen's friends, they're experiencing all this, and he or she gets to hear them discussing about it, but she's like, "Kai, why is this not happening to me? Kwani am I not normal?" How should a parent come in now with that? Or let's talk about the parent.
The parents.
Yeah.
I think it's important to help our children understand we are different. We are very special, uniquely made, even just among the siblings. You know, once you cultivate that within the family setup, maybe you have 2 kids or more, and you help them to understand their uniqueness, their differences. So they grow up knowing my life doesn't have to be like this one's. They can even be twins, but the way they have embraced the similarities, the way we confuse their names, you know, you call Maggie Grace when it's Grace you're calling to be Maggie, you know, and all that, and it's fun. They also need the differences, the uniqueness they show, the uniqueness within them should as well be brought out. Like, in as much as, okay, you're 2 the same until we confuse your name, you also need to help them understand you're 2 different, that we like your uniqueness. That, you know, this one you're a talker, this one you're a quiet one, this one you're a planner, this one you're just an actor, you know, that differences. So, because it's always there. You'll find these kids who had just, they sit, they scheme, they plan, and they lay it on the table. This should be done, da, da, da. Others are just that their own is come, bam, bam, bam. You know, they're actively, and it's all good. So when you understand your children to understand, you are very special, you're very unique, you're very different, and it's a good thing. Even when they get absorbed into society, and they found other kids saying, I started, nimemea matiti at 11 years old. Her chest is still flat at 13. It won't bother her. Because she knows our lives are very unique. We are different. Fulani ameanza kumea mandevu. Ndizo tumusta tumeanza kutokea. At 13. But then because 16 hata sina anything. They're okay. They are confident in that. And then the thing also needs to understand that the fact that this one is like this and you are like this, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Because some kids, like especially like for girls, let me say so, some start their menses, even I hear nowadays even at 9, some at 12, some at 14. So it comes on different stages. So help your children understand all these changes comes at different intervals, depending on your body makeup, and it's all okay. So when they come, they won't be. And in case it happened now, you didn't sensitize them on this, and now they are afraid. They are wondering, are they abnormal? You still come in the same way, assuring them, you're very normal, you're just different.
Okay, yeah. Maybe a parent talked to a teen and explained all this, but the teen is just like, okay, mom said this and this and this, but bado.
I'm not. I want to be like
yes,
them.
I want to be like my friend.
Yeah, I think it's a battle for many people. I won't even want to say it's a youthful thing. It's a teenagehood thing. The thing with comparison is a disease that is eating almost everybody everywhere. Churches comparing themselves, couples comparing themselves, children comparing themselves. Like, I want to be like so and so. If I'm not like so and so, then I don't measure up. So it's a mindset. And you find, let me give you this example. It's a very awkward one, anyway. But I like being practical also with my life. I was told when you're almost having your periods, you start feeling ish, like you want to sleep with a guy. And then immediately after your periods, you also feel like you want to sleep with a guy. But this other time, you're okay. This is how it was exactly told to me. Before I was told, before somebody mentioned that to me, my life was very normal. Like I never had the ish when I'm almost and when after periods. I was okay. Like when periods are coming or after the periods, I'm just me. I don't have that season like I feel like sleeping with a man. I feel like, but when that information came to me, it registered. And then I started feeling something. Okay. Maybe I'm almost, yeah, actually, nanyesha, nimeanza kunyesha. Maybe that's why I was feeling like touching myself or like sleeping with a man, like doing this and that. So sometimes you find all these things our teenagers or youth go through. It's about the information they have gotten in. The so and so ameniambia, hey, mimi manzeni nasikia tu kulala na madem, unajua mimi na yeye hakuwa nasikia. And then within a while pia naanza kusikia I need to have a girlfriend, I need to sleep around with a girl. He wasn't like that until he had information that was misleading. So I think, like I always say, information will always transform you or deform you. What you hear is very important. What you listen to is very important. But if we feed our children, our youth with truth, that these changes come, because you know what? The matter is this. As an adolescent, it's not normal for you to be jumpy around. It's a fact. It's a truth. It's not normal that all adolescents want to sleep around and mess around and rebel and misbehave. You can be an adolescent with a difference. Why people tend to behave like that is because of comparison. What you're saying, I want to be like so and so. So and so is going through this. Why not me? You know, so and so is doing this. Why not me? Am I abnormal? So I think it's high time single young guys, young girls, learn just to embrace yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and don't try to fight to fit in. Always stand out. Yeah.
Okay, you talked of comparison, and that's where lifestyle comes in. A teenager may have some friends who probably fellow teenagers, but the teenagers have a certain lifestyle. But let's talk of a Christian. I'm born again, I'm a teenager, and I have these friends who actually hawajaelewa kwa kanisa, let me use that. Hawajaelewa kwa kanisa, but they have a certain lifestyle yenye wananivuruta, yenye inanipendeza kidogo. Yes, I just want to be like them. How should a teenager deal with that? Because I guess that's peer pressure.
Yeah, it's a peer pressure. It's a disease in our era.
Or sorry, maybe they're dressing in a certain way that kidogo hata mimi nikiangalia pia mimi nikivaa hivi sintakapoa. How should a teenager deal with
that? As a teenager, I think it's very, very important to understand life is very personal. And I think the earlier you understand that, the better. That at the end of the day, when it comes to life, you stand alone, actually. When it comes to life, every stage of life, not just on Judgment Day. You know, thank God you're in church. You've always been told, on Judgment you stand alone. On Judgment you stand. Judgment is happening every day. You're being judged when you're to qualify for another level of a class. It's judgment. For you to leave class 4 to 5, it's a judgment. And you'll be judged accordingly, whether you qualify or you disqualify, as a person, not as a team. Whether you're to graduate from high school to university, it's a judgment. So we live in the world daily being judged, either by life, circumstances, or things, or just ourselves. And so it's important to give a life approach like, I stand as a person. I stand as an individual. And life will be very fun. But if you don't understand that, it becomes very difficult. So I think it's important to give a life approach like, I stand as a person. I stand as an individual. And life will be very fun. But if you don't understand that, it becomes very difficult. So I think it's important to give a life approach like, I stand as a person. I stand as an individual. I have so many people around my life, like people I talk to, with associate and all that. But I'm sorry to say, I don't know whether it's a testimony, something to brag about, or something to be ashamed about. But I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I don't have a B. They call it what? Best BBF.
Yeah.
Best friend, BFF. Best friend forever.
forever.
BFF.
Yeah,
I don't
BFF.
have. And I love my life like that. And it's okay. I don't think there's anything, anybody can criticize me for that. I don't know. But it's a choice I've made. But I associate, I relate. But the thing is, when I talk of my BFF, you know, friendship is very, very expensive. As friends, it means you are wired to flock together. The Bible, is it the Bible or is it a saying that the birds of the same feather flock together? So the thing is, this is who I am as me. I'm a child of God. I love the Lord. I fear the Lord. And this is how I like my life to be. Yes, I'm seeing this kind of an attraction. One, as a teenager, I'll advise you, look at it as a platform for you to judge yourself rightly, you know, to qualify yourself or disqualify yourself. And mostly, I don't think there is anybody who wants to disqualify themselves. Because you assess yourself and ask, if I follow that trend, how will my tomorrow be? Mm-hmm. Where is this choice? If I make this choice, where is it going to take me tomorrow? Don't just look at now. Always look at tomorrow. And most cases, people who stood alone in their younger ages, they have crowds following them now. Let me give you a story of Miles Monroe. I don't know whether you've heard of Miles Monroe. The late Miles Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
Miles Monroe has done a lot on purpose. Spoken a lot on a purpose, on vision, and all that. Miles Monroe says, I think at 14, at 13 actually, he actually read through the Old Testament or the Bible. And at 14, he decided he will never sleep with a girl who is not his wife. At 14. Mm-hmm. How old are you? At 14, Miles Monroe made that decision. And anytime the temptation arose, because even in church, there were girls who were like seducing him. But he had made a vow. He had made a decision. He had taken a stand. He assessed himself and he knew the expenses, the cost of indulging in sexuality at a younger age. And even at an older age. But as long as it's somebody who is not his wife, he's not in covenant with, he counted the cost at 14 and decided, I will never do that. And he lived to that. And by God's grace, he also married a woman who also decided, I will not sleep around with men. Look at these lives. These people, it looks as if their lives were cut short, they died young. That is our view. But I think even according to Miles Monroe himself, he said, once he finishes his work, he wants to go. He says he doesn't want to die old. He wants to die empty. That is, he wants to finish his assignment. And see even how they died. It may have been tragic, but it's like these people, even in death, they were just meant to be together. So if a man made that decision, right now we are still listening to his messages, we're still reading his books, and he's dead. You can make that decision, and you can live by it. Don't try to fit in. It's a pressure, it's a temptation, but a temptation doesn't come to you because you're bad. A temptation comes to you because you're very good and you qualify. And the reason for a temptation is actually to graduate you to another level, not to demote you to the common crowd. Get that? It's always to graduate you to a next level. It's to get you from a high school to a college. It's to get you from high school to the university. So use that temptation with that mindset. Yeah.
Okay, we're going for a short break, but when we'll be back, we'll be discussing more about physical and emotional changes that occur in teens. Don't go anywhere because Gloria will be here to give us more information about this.
When you enter the presence,
unapoingia uweponi,
you don't again desire to come out.
hautamani tena kuondoka.
It is your responsibility to maintain yourself,
Ni jukumu lako kujitunza pale,
to make sure
kuhakikisha
that you dwell there
kwa kwamba unadumu pale
by doing the will of God.
kwa kufanya mapenzi ya Mungu.
Wewe ni Mungu mweza yote, mwenye enzi na
Jesus said,
Yesu akasema,
a man must be born again.
kama mwanadamu lazima azaliwe mara ya pili.
If anyone wants to inherit the kingdom,
Kama yeyote anataka kurithi ufalme,
he or she must be born again.
lazima huyo mtu azaliwe mara ya pili.
haijalishi waliosema kwako, haijalishi mapito yako, usiangalie historia yako ndugu.
Whereas God may have instructed us to do some things, hear this today, the transport must remain correct. Whatever we begin, whether of God or not of God, it will begin somehow. But hear this, beloved of God, only what Jehovah has authorized will stand the test of time. And me and you as a believer must be careful, because the seductive powers of the devil will always try to come to us to take an advantage of what God is doing to answer our problem.
Sisi ndio nyumba, na sisi ndio watu ambao Bwana anatamani, watu ambao anawatafuta ili wakaweze kumwabudu. Maana hawamwabudu kwa sababu wako juu ya milima, hawamwabudu kwa sababu wako katika nyumba yake, wanamwabudu kwa sababu wao hako ndani yao na wao wako ndani yake. Na kwa hivyo Bwana anawatafuta watu kama hawa, maana hawamwabudu kwa sababu ya pale. Na kwa hivyo wewe siku ya leo mpendwa, nataka kukuhimiza ya kwamba inakufaa uanze kufikiri maneno ya Yesu aliyoyazungumzia.
Welcome back. We're still going on with the discussion, that is physical and emotional changes that occurs in teens. It's a very interesting topic and very sensitive. Oh, glory. Now, how should a parent handle such? Because maybe the parent may be talking to this teen like, please stop doing this. Wachana na kina fulani. Usuke kama mtoto wa fulani. Now, how should a parent handle such?
I think you've mentioned something very, very important there when it comes to comparison. Like when a parent, you're talking to your child, I think it's also very wrong to try to compare them to somebody else. Never try to do. No matter how good example that person is, don't try to measure up. Unless you can do it in a good context, not really. Mbono usikue kama fulani. You can advise. Like, I see so-and-so is walking in the right direction. I think that kind of a friend is good. Because the truth is, with kids, they will try to bring different people around you. And number one, I would say, parents, let's create an environment where you'll be able to know your kids' friends. In that, there are friends they will bring around. In fact, like for us, I remember mostly our dad, it was like, you don't go out, but you bring them. All your friends, msimame kwa barabara. Awapate msimama kwa barabara, ama kwa gate. If your friends you want to meet with your friends and all that, let them come home. be in the compound or in the house. So once you've seen and you're seeing how they're relating, it's okay. You know, can eavesdrop and just get to know what do they talk when they're around and all that. Make them also feel free. And then you'll be able to tell this is a good friend, this is a bad friend. But just try to advise, how do you find so and so? Of course, they'll open up, they'll say, but then she's a good one. But you know what, ma'am? I don't like the way she does this to her mother or to her father or to this. Then you're like, then do you want that kind of an example? And they will bring others and you will just say, okay, this is bad, this is good. You advise them accordingly. So when it comes to that kind of, there are some simple things. Let me say, for example, we are brought in a maybe a church setup where maybe girls don't wear trousers, for example. And your daughter is missing trouser, and it feels the other teenagers are in trousers and they look better than herself, and she starts comparing herself and feeling bad, she looks odd and all that. I think there are things like even as parents we can just adjust to. Yeah? We don't have to be too tough and too religious. There are things that are not bad. They're not immoral. If your religion say we wear trousers, but I mean, what is religion? Your child's life is more important than religion, because with time they will rebel, they want to fit in, and they'll have a boyfriend who wants to, and then they will elope, and before you know it, they're gone. Mm-hmm. Or they will endure the time they will get freedom like this. Maybe atakufurahisha tu, the day she will enter college, atakwambia now I'm 18, I'm independent, you don't decide for me. Ataanza kukuvalia vitu, utashtuka. Na hiyo udini yako ya I'm religious. Utashtuka, by the way. I've seen even PK's daughters, some of the things they post on Facebook forums, and she will tell you, I'm a PK. You know they're hurting, and they're reacting to things. They're reacting to a system that they feel wasn't fair to them. Mm-hmm. Maybe your boy wants to cut hairstyle in a certain manner, and you're like, no, sisi tunanyonga Jordan. Mm-hmm. This is how we live our lives. You can't bring another hairstyle here. Sometimes just bend a little bit. Understand them. Come to their level. Atanyoa hivo afurahi aseme, I like it. Yeah, I look like itambo too with time. Kids change. They change. So there are things I think as parents you can adjust to. What you can adjust to, please do. What you can't, and the only thing you can't adjust to is something that is misleading. But when it comes to maybe fashion, of course, even with fashion, I won't want, even when they're maybe trying, they want maybe shorts and all that. Yeah, allow them to wear shorts. You're wearing them home, it's okay. But when you're going to the church, at least, let's wear decent, okay? So strike that balance. But I think for parents, let's try and bend a little bit. Not be too strict, so that we can embrace them and they can feel like they're accommodated.
Okay, you talked about freedom, and maybe most of the parents don't spend full time with their teenagers. Now, maybe a parent, not a parent, maybe a neighbor found your child doing something that is wrong. And this generation is usichape mtoto wangu. That may be a police case. Maybe the neighbor tried to talk to your child, explained everything, but the child is just like, usiniambie, basi mamangu. And then the neighbor decides, let me share this with the parent. Now, as a parent, when the neighbor shares what happened with the child, you're just like, who gave you the permission to look after my child? Nani alikwambia umuongeleshe? How should parents handle such cases that wanakuja kuambiwa nilipata mtoto wako akifanya hivi, nilipata fulani akifanya hivi? How should parents?
Yeah, I think, I think we are growing up. I think for us, life is a community, family is a community thing. It was never really about mom, dad, children. It was it was a community affair. Mm-hmm. But okay, days are changing and all that. But with the change of days and season and times, values cannot change. Values are values. Mm-hmm. There are things you cannot compromise on, and that is value. One of the things I say, even in the now, I don't have to be, it's not my giving birth that qualifies me to be a parent. Taking care of a child qualifies me to be a parent. So I think parenthood needs, in a way, to me, needs to be redefined. Mm-hmm. Because we have mothers, we have fathers who have sired children, who have given birth to children, but they're not parenting them. Mm. So you don't call yourself a parent. What's parenting? Parenting is a train, is a raising up, is grooming, is working with the child. So sometimes you find our house helps qualify more to be parents than even us who gave birth to these children. Our neighbors, sometimes our teachers, sometimes our pastors. So the thing is this, I think we need to create an environment whereby we raise our children in a community setup. Because I say this, no matter how I train my child well, the world is waiting for her. The world is waiting for him. I don't know how you trained your own children. If I trained mine well, you trained your own bird. When they meet up, my dear, it will take the grace of God for this one of mine to retain their values. But if I take it upon me, not just to train my child, but any opportunity I have, I will invest in any other child that is not even my own. I'm training a community. I'm training a nation. I'm training a village. So the environment, the community will be safe. And because I'm investing in another, because also, you know where the mistake comes in? I will not, I'll never, and I think it's biasness, because I will never tell you when your child does well. I will never congratulate you. I'm telling you, wow, your child sang well in church. That's very nice. I'll only wait for when your child does a mistake, and then I'm, mtoto wako, guy, you know? So it's somehow it just creates, this kind of, what are you telling me? Mind your own business, So let's get involved in each other's children on both ends, whether they are good or bad, not just when they are bad. Let's strike a balance. And so that when even you're coming to me and tell me, Esh, I already told you before your daughter sang well. And I'm like, I saw your daughter with some guy. I think you need to talk to her and find out. Because there's also an approach that I need to give that. And you as a parent, you don't need to dismiss me. You don't need to defend your daughter and all that. Go, confront the matter. Talk to your daughter. And I may actually be surprised to say, is not actually a guy. It was actually their cousins. Be free to do that. And then I may find them in a very compromising. If I find them smoking, they were smoking or drinking or, that one is an obvious thing. You need to really, call that girl on board. She may try to deny and all that, but because you've also created that respect, that community thing, you can call me in. Yeah? You can call me in. If, especially, they are trying to prove themselves difficult. Because I witnessed, I can come in and be of help. I say, my daughter. Now, let me give you an example. There's something I did. I was 19. There was a woman on our plot. She came and waited for me. When she waited for me, she told me, Gloria, my daughter, I know life is difficult, but please, don't go this path. I'll never forget that woman. She's a Muslim. She's called Mary. She's a Muslim. I don't know whether she's still alive, I don't know. But I can't forget that. So I think also before you get to my parents, you can talk to me as a child. If I'm a listening child, you can talk to me. And because that woman didn't talk to my dad. My mom had died by then long time. She talked to me. And that voice still rang in my head. To date, I still remember. So I think let's learn to just run parenting as a community affair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk of a child or a teen who is experiencing these physical and emotional changes. And there's the thing that has been created that a girl should be closer to the mother, a boy should be closer to the father. Now what if the mother is not available? And what if the father is not available? How should a teen cope with that?
Yeah, it's quite tricky. But it's not that complicated anyway. Although in the natural, you find that in the natural, daughters flow more with the dads and sons with the moms, naturally.
Yeah.
Like a daughter, I would talk anything to my dad that I would talk to my mom. And the same way, guys will be free to open up to their mothers. But the thing is, it's just how you raise them up. That trend is there. The natural trend is there when the opposites lean to the opposites, lean towards each other. But the kind of a walk you've demonstrated before your child will determine how close you walk and how free they will open up to you. Because if you're the kind of a father who always ulifanya homework, ulifanya nini shuleni leo, nimesikia umetembea na nani na nani. You're that always coming into your boy's life like that. They will never be free with you. If you're the kind of a mother, kaa vizuri, you know, that kind noisy. When they're going through those changes, they will never get to you. But when you are friends, I actually even encourage parents to take your children on dates. You know, just let's make it sometimes your daughter's day out, son's day out. Build a rapport, talk about nonsense, talk about things, talk about life. Especially, you know, life has become so busy that these kids are boiling with so much in their hearts, they don't know who to talk to. And unfortunately, when they don't know how to talk to, they will end up talking to other friends, other girls, other boys who are like them, going through the same frustration, and they are misadvised. So I think it's important to just build that confidence, build that rapport in your son, in that your son is confident enough when they're going through it. I did. Leo Manze, you know, I saw something on telly, I saw this girl, I'm like, this is how I feel. And you know, as a father, you're like, don't worry, my son, it's normal, you're a man, you're becoming a man, yeah? But this is the path you need to talk. Now, I have a bishop who told me this. They were raised Catholic. This is his story. He said his father, you know, Catholics, sorry to say, but they really don't have the values, the morality values. They can drink and go to the mass and drink and smoke and sleep around. They can be, there's no, you know, they're not like the Pentecostals who sometimes we hide that we don't do this, and when we hide and do it, them it's open. But the father told him, you don't have to sleep around to be a man. The first woman I slept with was your mother. And it's the only one I've been sleeping with all around. The man says he was 11 when the father told him that. In Africa, here, it's happening. So, I mean, you know, we are seeing a lot of bad, negative things. It seems as if there are no good things happening behind there. No, they're happening. So this man lived to the words of his dad. Now, what will make a father say that to the son? It's only if they are close, they do things together, and that kind of a, you know, so that kind of a rapport. Now, with that, you can be able to tell your son, no, this is the path. When your daughter can come and tell you, Aki, mommy, in fact, so-and-so was sleeping at the sun, I feel like just, you know, they will open up. Can I give another example?
Yes.
This mama, she told the girl, she's been talking to the girl at 13, talking to her. When the girl was 15, she says she has a boyfriend. And the mother has already told her about even having a friend. It's okay to have a friend, but like have boundaries. Draw the line. You have a friend, but this is the limits. This is only meant for this season. This is for this season. So, and the girl has been following. But she got to a place, I think she was around 16, yeah. And she just was like, I think it's now too much. I need to try this thing called sex. And she told the mother, I'm going out. She was 18, not 16. She was getting 18 just before she got her ID. And she told the mother, I'm going with my boyfriend out. And I think today I want to try sex. So they talked anyway. The mother didn't tell her don't, but she told her these are the consequences. You know, I've been talking to you. I know where you've tried, you've endured, you're 18 now. Just a few years before you could ever get your own man, your husband, who will enjoy you. So, but these are the consequences if you want to indulge now. And he let her go. She let her go. The girl went. She came back. Okay, how was it? I didn't do it. I thought through what you told me. So we didn't do it. You know? So, you know, there is a level you can get to with your children. Because, say, watu mfunge kwa kamba. Ataenda mahali anataka kwenda. I've seen cousins of mine. They would sneak out. There's a cousin I chunguliad in the window. It was during a funeral of her mother. Seriously. Yeah. Sorry to say, I was young. You know, this is happening. I chunguliad and I wondered, what are these people doing? It looked like trees together. And I would see people moving together like this. And then, I didn't actually understand then. But I was peeping through the window. They were under a tree. So this guy, you will try to be strict. They will go. I have one cousin of mine also. I don't know how many times we went to drag her out of her boyfriend's house, back home. The mother will go. She come. We will be sent. Her cousin. We will go. She comes. She will go. And the mother was so strict. So at times, depending on how you've raised them, Saa zingine unaacha tu unakuwa tu kama dove, no, eagle. You fly, let them up in the air, let them fly. That you remain in the powerhouse, you tell God, God, please, I've handed them to you. You know that you have just take care of them. God knows how we will turn their minds around. And this girl didn't do it. And the situation was rescued.
Now, okay, you've talked of tough parents. Yes, they are tough parents. And maybe a teen has just gone out there and fortunately or unfortunately, he or she has messed up. And he or she finds it difficult to come and share it out with the parent because the parent is very strict. Now, how should a teen, what should a teen do when it comes to that? Because maybe you may come and share it and you'll be chased away. Let's talk of a girl.
Actually, it happens,
Yeah, you'll be chased away or you'll be beaten by the parent. Now, what should a teen do? Because sometimes they may think of suicide.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is if you've messed and your parent is too tough. Because I've seen those scenarios. I've seen a girl who was beaten, thoroughly beaten, pregnant. Because she hid the pregnancy, she didn't say. And when the father now discovered, he was so hurt. He was so, because it's like, I've invested in you. I've talked big about you. You have messed me. And unfortunately, parents don't even see it as if like you're hurting your life. Because the best approach is, child, this path is wrong. You're hurting yourself. They don't see it like that. They always accuse the child, you're spoiling my name. Do you know who I am in the society? So it always rotates around you, you know? And that's why some children rebel, and I will just do this to hurt you, to offend you, to get back at you. So I've seen a parent who beat up his daughter. And thank God the mother was there anyway. So the mother had to come in between. Now the mother was the one receiving the beatings and the blows because the daughter had received enough. This girl was pregnant. Now, I think the best thing to do is don't think suicide. It's not the end of life. Wanasema kuteleza sio kuanguka. Although unakuwa umeanguka in a way, but you will still stand. The Bible said the righteous fall 7 times and they stand. Even if they fall 7 times, they will stand. Anyway, the thing is, are you righteous? But the thing is that you are alive, there is hope. So you don't have to give up on life just because you missed. In life, I think if you can't talk to your parents because they are tough, I've seen this help. There could be a relative, maybe a grandmother, an auntie, an uncle, or a pastor, a pastor's wife, a leader in church, but don't talk to your peers. That's the only thing I'll advise. Just don't talk to your peers. If you're a girl, maybe you're pregnant, the best thing they will tell you to do, twende tutoe kitu. Twende to abort. You know, they will start misleading you. Ama elope tu na huyo msee anakupenda. Amesema atakuoa, enda tu na yeye. You know, those kind of. So one, don't confine in your teenage, your mates. 2, besides your parents, look for somebody. He may not even have been that friendly. Sometimes God just creates platforms, you find yourself, or you can reach out to somebody. It can actually be even a stranger. It can be somebody you knew long time ago, but find a place you can empty. That's just the step. And you just need to get it out of you. So just get a safe place you can empty yourself. And it could be anybody from your history, from family, from your church, a teacher in school, a madam if you're a girl, a teacher, a male teacher if you're a guy, you know, just like that. But talk to somebody beside your parents. Then they will talk to your parents. Let me give you an example. There was a girl in a certain church. She got pregnant. She didn't talk to the parents because the parents are the leaders in that church. They've always all been raised in that church. She didn't talk to the parents. She went to the bishop and talked to the man of God with the wife. She called them, can I see you? Booked an appointment with them and talked to them. She told them, I've messed. I'm pregnant. I don't know how to go about it. They told her, it's okay. Talked to her, counseled her, prayed with her. They're the ones who broke the news to the parents. And the parents were, of course, you know, it's now your bishop talking to you about your daughter. This hata kama wewe ni pilipili, utashuka in a way, somehow. You have to respect the authority, the anointing. So the parents, of course, had to, especially the dad, they understood the situation. They embraced the girl. They forgave her and all that. And this girl decided herself, she wants to make a confession in the church. Nobody told her. She wasn't advised. She decided she wants to make a confession. So one of the days she was told, okay, are you sure you want to do this? She said, yeah, because she's actively involved. She went to the altar, gave gave a speech. The bishop told the mother to come and stand beside the daughter. So she was giving her story, how she has fallen and all that, right in front of the church with the mother beside her, holding her. Do you know what happened? I don't know whether to call it a revival, an awakening or something. But people cried in the church. People blessed her. People prayed, Because, it shuts your mouth. You can't judge her. You can't go, hey, Fulani or Fulani. I've already brought myself to the plane. You want to talk? You don't even have the guts to go talking about such. And she has a baby now. And I mean, like, she was healed. And so there's always a way out. You can talk to somebody.
Okay, this topic is becoming interesting, but unfortunately we are running out of time. So please just share your social handles where people can find you.
Okay, yeah. This is Gloria Mugallo. Like you've told, you can reach me, especially when you're going through some of these things. I can be available to you. You can reach me on 0721 862 408. 0721 862 408. You can go also on my YouTube channel, Gloria Wonderful Mugallo. There's so much stuff there you can share. You can find of help. I have 2 books in my hands, very mini books. You can read them in one sitting. First edition and second edition on Singles for Purity. As a parent, you need to get this, read it and give it to your children. And your children also need to have a copy. There's a prayer of commitment, like a vow here. As a youth, you can take it and just decide, I want to live for the Lord in purity. So I want us to understand that purity is very doable. And if you have messed before, it's okay. We can always start all over again.
Thank you for watching Riverside Council. And as we have been told by Gloria, at least create a rapport where a teenager may feel comfortable sharing out things with you as a parent. Till next time, I was yours, Caroline Bide.